She is power. She is love. She is hope. She inspires. She is many journeys in one lifetime. She is the people, an individual, a never-ending story of the beauty of possibility.
I nearly didn't get into medical school, I put it that way. I got rejected from a couple of medical schools.
I was a treasury officer, went through the ranks in treasury.
You find the whole reverend thing geared towards the male.
So I had to learn now how to find my voice. I think the other thing for me would be hard work and continuous self-improvement.
My faith is everything.
Be a part of She Inspires this and every Wednesday on the I Am Drive on Sunny 88.7 FM, 8:30 a.m. and live on Facebook same time. Also join in on Sunny TV every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. She Inspires is proudly brought to you by She Inspires.
It is said that it is hard to be the person who never gives up. On She Inspires today, I'll be talking to a young woman who had to work as a head porter to fund her way through senior high school. Later on, an interesting twist of events totally changed her story, and now she is changing the narrative of young girls in her home region. My guest on She Inspires today is Teni Agana. She's the founder of Loozeele, and she's here to share her story with us, and she's telling us more about what Loozeele stands for and what they seek to achieve with young girls. Stay with us right here on She Inspires. I am JJD, and thank you to our sponsors who make it possible for us to bring you She Inspires: Glass Cell Company Limited, Hotel Casireri, Sarah Ban, Royal Peaches Glam, Ajele Jewelry, Eddie's Pizza, and Mianan Foods. Teni, it's so great to have you join us on She Inspires today. You look lovely.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure, our pleasure. And Teni, tell us what it was like growing up for someone who was born in Bolgatanga.
So I'm from a small village in the Upper East region called Seroko. Okay. And growing up, we did everything together. And mostly like people from Seroko are farmers. So my father was a farmer, my mother was a farmer. I have 2 other siblings, but then I have cousins. And one thing about Bolga is that everyone, whether it's your father's brother or you call them Baba. So I had a lot of uncles, which we call them Baba, and it was amazing. And then growing up, we didn't have electricity in Bolga. So what we do is, I mean, at night, when it's dark, you go and sleep. You don't watch TV. My parents were not educated. They didn't have any education. So growing up, going to school, I'm the firstborn, so I have to find an inner motivation myself just to focus on what I want to do. And then even if I go to school and I do well or I don't do well, it's me. I mean, when I come, Teni, did you do well? Yes. They will never understand what I did well, and I have to find a way to also motivate my little siblings and my cousins to also go to school and all that. So yeah, it was interesting living in Seroko. I'm actually the first person to have a university education in my family.
Your family? Yes. Congratulations.
Yes, my extended family.
Including your extended family, not just the nuclear.
Yes.
Wow. It's great we're talking about education now and going to school and all. How was funding for your school at the beginning? Tell us more about it. Was it an easy thing for your parents to do for you? Yes. So you just had to concentrate on your school, or there were times when, you know, there were school fees issues and all. Can you share that with us?
Yeah. Growing up, for me, it was hard getting things that I needed for school. I mean, apart from the reading books, I didn't even getting exercise books was a problem for me because my parents didn't have it. Even though it was subsidized, but then we didn't have much. So I had to focus on, I went to public school throughout, and I have to focus on what they had, the reading books, what they were offering. So, I mean, life was tough for me.
It was tough.
Yeah.
And I know you lost your father along the way. How old were you at that time? And what was that
so I was
like?
15 years. I was in GSS 2 by that time. And my sister was like 8 years old when he died. For me, it was hard because he was providing everything to support my family. My mother didn't have enough to support all of us. So it was a tough time for us. But then at the end of the day, he's gone. So what next? What do we do? How do we survive? I mean, it was a tough time for us. Being 15 years, losing, and being the firstborn, there's a lot of responsibility. Making sure that I support my mother to also support my little siblings. It was hard for us. When my father passed away, It was hard, even though we didn't have electricity. We lived in a family hut. We didn't have to pay rent and all that. Things were still hard for us. So I had a golden opportunity to go to Kumasi and stay with my uncle.
How did you land this golden opportunity
to go
to Kumasi?
Yes. So my uncle, my mother's brother, his wife has given birth to twins. So they needed someone to help the wife with household activity. For me, it was golden because that's when everything changed. So I went to Kumasi to stay with her. I would get up, do the household activity, then go to school. I mean, it was Kumasi, it was great.
So before this period, had you finished your BC?
No, I was still in JSS2 when my father died.
Okay,
so I went there.
Schools.
Yeah, this was a great opportunity for me to help them and also go to school. For me, I had the mentality that if I finish, because I'm in Kumasi, it will help me go to secondary school.
Okay.
So it was good because when I was in Bog, I was thinking, so when I get to secondary school, how am I going to get money to pay for my admission fees? So when I got that opportunity to go and stay with, I was doing the best that I can, making sure that everything is done right, doing the right thing, so that, I mean, when I finish, he will help me go to secondary school. And I remember when I was 10 years old, I was walking to the market with my mother, and I saw a woman with a graduation gown. So like when you graduate from university, she took a very beautiful picture, and I took the picture, and to me that woman was the most beautiful person on earth, and she was so happy. Immediately I wanted to be like her. I wanted to be happy like the way she is, and I knew the only way I could be that happy is when I go to school.
So that woman in that picture, you'd say, was the drive, the motivation
exactly.
for you
so she motivated. So regardless of what happened, whether my father died, I wanted to be this woman. I wanted to get there, wear this graduation gown, take the same picture.
Was it hard for your family to let go of you, your siblings?
Yeah, my siblings, yes. But for my mother, she felt like I was going to help my uncle's wife, and it would be a good opportunity for me. So yeah, I got there. I went to Sereso, DA2, yeah. So I went there and continued from JSS2. So a year later, I wrote my BC, and I did very well.
Wow.
Yes. But the problem is, my uncle had 2 wives. He had about 7 kids, and he also had a lot of responsibility. He was a butcher.
And you were helping take care of all the 7 children?
So I was staying with the first wife.
Okay.
So I was taking care of the 5 kids. So he has given birth. Like, he has his own family. He didn't have enough money for me to take me to secondary school. So he said, okay, this is what is going to happen. I don't have the money to take you to secondary school, but I can get you a sewing machine or pay for you to go and learn how to make hair.
Okay.
So that in 3 years, you become a madam, you can have a skill, which is good. Because
you were excited about that?
I wasn't excited, but it meant he had good intentions for me,
you.
And he had better plans for my future. But I wanted to go to school. I wanted to be this woman.
That woman in that picture.
Exactly. And for my mother has always supported me because she didn't go to school, so she wanted me to be better. Right, so I discussed with my mother. I said, no, I really want to go to school. But then he is offering to buy me a sewing machine and also pay for me. So my mother and I, we decided that I'm going to stay home for a year, work, save, and go to school. So that was the plan.
So stay home in Kumasi or go back and stay home in
Kumasi,
okay.
Work, save, and go back to school, and go back to secondary school.
And in staying in Kumasi, you were still staying with your mom's brother?
Yes. So okay. I was supposed to stay with my mom's brother whilst I get a job. So now that I'm not in secondary school, I'm not in school, I'll get up, go to work, and then save money.
So in your decision to stay home for a year, I mean, try to find a job and to go to school, what kind of jobs were passing through Teni's mind?
I had a few options, right? The first one was to be a shopkeeper, maybe shop attendant, sitting in front of someone's shop. The second one is I can apply to be a kindergarten teacher.
Okay.
And also the third one is to wash bowls. So with that one, let's say the chop bars, the owners, when people finish, you wash the bowls, and that one is good because at the end of the day, you get food and you can save the money that you give you. The last one was to be a kayaye, and that one, because I've seen young people from my village. Remember, I'm from Senoko, so I've seen some of the Senoko girls coming to Kumasi to work. So I realized, okay, that could be an option.
Another option.
So I mean, carrying people's load is a lot of work. It takes a lot of a lot of energy in there, and there are a lot of consequences. So I wanted to try the first 3 before I get there. And I also had another option, which was the 5th one, sell water.
Sell water.
Exactly.
So you tried your 3 options?
I tried all the 3 options.
How did it go? How did the first option go?
Okay, so the first option, which was to be a kindergarten teacher, by that time, the amount that they were offering me was very little. Okay. And I realized that even if I take it, I won't be able to save enough. The second one, which was to be a shop owner, there was no vacancy there.
Okay.
And the third one, which was to be a chopper, bowl washer, that one, I realized that at that time that I went, it was vacation time. Most of the girls are around. Most of the girls from the north were around. So most of the chopper shops were taken. So I stayed home. I even had to say, okay, I will wait for 2 weeks. I sat home for 2 weeks, waiting that there would be an opportunity for me to do before I even take that one. But I realized that after the 2 weeks, I was still home. So I decided to I moved from Esseras, which is like around Atonsu side, and went to Bantama Market.
What was the first day at Bantama Market like?
The first day, when I was going, I took 1 basin. So, and then
you had prepared before you even went.
I mean, I know the procedure. Remember, my mother worked.
You had armed yourself.
My grandmother worked. My mother worked. So growing up, I've seen them do it, and I see a lot of young people from my village do it. So I already know how the procedure goes. So I went with I wore one, and then another pair of clothes, and then with the basin, and then with a cover cloth.
On your way to Bantama Market, what was running through your mind, Teni?
What was running through my mind was that I'm going to work hard. Regardless of whatever happened, I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to get money and go to school.
So tell me, you carried your extra set of clothes, went into Bantama Market. How did that go?
The first day, I didn't get any work. Like I said, a lot of people, young girls, it was vacation time. So a lot of young girls were there. So the first day, I didn't get any work. And then at night, we usually wait for the market women to close. When they close, and then we slept in front of their shops. So
but why didn't you go back home to your uncle's place?
First of all, transportation back to my uncle's place is like, by that time, it would be like 6 cities. Just going and coming back again is 6 cities. That's 12 cities. And on that day, I didn't even make 1 city. So how do I even go back?
Did your uncle know that you were venturing into Bantama Market? They knew you were taking this adventure? They knew I
was going there. So, I mean, but then they don't have the resources to support me. So what they can do is to support me to go. Like, okay, come home every weekend or something. When you get a chance, come. Black collars. That's the only thing that, because they don't have, it's not like the money is there that they are not giving you. You yourself, you know the conditions.
Yes.
So
you slept after the dinner that the girl gave you.
Yeah.
You slept.
Yes. So
in front of a shop?
We usually like 5-6 people will sleep together, and then and use your basin as pillow, and then you cover yourself. So
Teni, how do you use your basin as a pillow? That's so hard.
I know, but life is hard. Life itself is not. It wasn't comfortable. It wasn't something that I wanted. That okay, I just want to come out, sleep on the street, opened like that. I didn't want. But
that was your first time sleeping on the streets.
Exactly. It was hard. Mosquitoes and all that. And the market. I mean, we have systems. Some people play music throughout the night. Right, so it was a lot, but then it wasn't something that I wanted. But because I was determined to go to school, have a secondary, that's why my colleagues, my friends, those that their parents could afford, they were back to school. But I was in the market working to save in order to go back to school.
So by then, senior high school had started for your year group.
Exactly.
But you were hustling in the market. And so by which time would you wake up at dawn?
So usually we wake up around 3:30 because the market women, they don't usually allow us to sleep in front of their shops. I mean, some of them say that we dirty up the place, which is sometimes true. So some of them, even if you are not lucky, they will urinate and come and pour it on you because you are dirtying up the place. So by 3:30, you have to be up and you move to. So the second day, we went to the market, which was early in the morning, around 4. We were by the cassava and plantain big cars. So when they come, the market women will let you carry them to their place where they sell them. So when you finish, they'll pay you. So by 9 you are done there, and now you can go inside the market
to
and
search for some more customers
exactly.
To carry their goods. This is She Inspires with Teni Agana, founder of Loozeele. Stay with us. We'll be back with more.
Me broni na de na wanu me drama na che wanu pe wanom oko me so ya no pa bia ansana me ko menwuma so no menya de pa bi. Let me share it with you. Daffy's Ohima feminine mixture. Eye me secret ba ko pa aboa me boso me bia me menses e bakama abra menti ya obia e flow mami me wo ye chi no na me menses no e maye me sha ase no Daffy's Ohima feminine mixture no Bankasa with no pain. So Daffy's Ohima feminine mixture. The best yes you.
Open the did with Daffy's Health and Beauty Ewo East Legon American House. Kumasen so ye Bank Tech Hospital. Enye map him for. Sankratwe FDA ashishe mwajia tumuse eye.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and the children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. The snow said I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days, may your days, may your days be merry and bright.
Welcome back from the break. This is She Inspires, and we're with Teni Agana. She's the founder of Loozeele, and she's telling us more about what Loozeele is, what it stands for, and what they hope to achieve. But we're getting back to continue from where we left off about being a head porter in Bantama Market. I'm JJD. Stay with us right here on She Inspires. So Teni, first day, second day, how are things going with living in the market and sleeping there? How much were you making a day?
So in a day, you can make like 20 cedis. There is a ticket that you have to pay. You have to pay to bath, buy water to bath in the market and all that. So in a day, usually I give 15 cedis to susu collectors. So mobile bankers, they come around. Because you are not sleeping in a room, you usually around 4 p.m. mobile bankers will come around. So the money that you have made, you have to save it with them. And then in the night, you go in, you pay to buy water and wash the clothes, the things that you were wearing that day, and then you bath and change to the new ones that you are holding for the next day. And one thing, every day you have to make sure you have gari and sugar, so that in case, I mean, you would never know, it may rain the whole day, the next day you won't be able to make money. So if you have that, you can eat that in the morning. I mean, you don't have your family members there, you don't have a place to eat, you don't know where your next meal is coming from, you don't know whether you will get job or work on that day. So you have to make sure that you are safe, you have something to eat, you are on your own there.
You know, I know that you had a motivation to be there. I also want to know, what was the thought process of the girls around you who were also head porters there? Did some of them also have dreams like you, or for some of them, that was all what life was about and that's all they wanted for themselves?
Yeah, so I think for most of them, they all had dreams, which I can say 80% of the girls had dreams and motivations, things that they wanted to do. For some, they wanted to go home, buy the things that they needed to go and get married. For some, they wanted to save money, go and learn a skill. And for others, they wanted to save money and go back to school or go and write in Obdek or whatever. So for me, they all had dreams and aspirations, things that they wanted to do.
So Teni, along the way, working at Bantama Market, trying to raise money for school, did you get any juicy offers you thought was going to make life easy for you, but at the same time you felt, if I accept this offer, I just may regret this later?
Yeah, the market is not just for kayayes. We have street boys, we have shoemakers, we have men, a lot of men around. So I mean, as a young person growing up, like someone will approach you, you are beautiful. At the end of the day, you realize that you are pregnant, and most of the girls, I can say 60% of the girls when it's time for us to go back to school, they are pregnant. And so at that time, you get a lot of people, peer pressure, a lot of people approaching you.
So you got a lot of approaches coming in.
Yes, definitely. But then if you don't have a strong drive, you don't have something that drives you, you gear towards that.
How much money were you hoping to raise to be able to go to school? And for how long did you have to work to raise that amount of money?
Yes, so at that time, I needed 1,000 cedis. So the 1,000 cedis, my school fees was 300. At that time, that was in 2007. So I needed like 1,000, maximum of 1,000 cedis. And that 1,000 cedis, my school fees was 300 cedis for admission fee. That one, there was no free HHS. So my school fees was 300 cedis. I needed to buy things like chobos, mattress. When I was actually going to school, I didn't have enough money to purchase a mattress, so I went with a mat to secondary school. Yes.
Which senior high school was that?
I went to Bolga Girls.
Bolga Girls.
Yes. And when I went, the headmistress gave me a spare mattress to use.
So for how long did you have to work in the market to raise this money?
I worked for 9 months.
For 9 months.
Straight 9 months, and I saved enough money. And then when school reopened for the next year, so my classmates were in Form 2 and I started in Form 1.
How did you feel when your feet stepped at Bolga Girls? I mean, you know you had worked hard. You had slept on basing as a pillow. How did you feel when your feet landed at Bolga Girls?
So when I finally got to Bolga Girls, I was super excited because I knew how I've worked for the past 9 months to get to this place, and there was nothing that was going to I knew like I was going to be the best student.
How did you know you were going to be the best
because
student?
I knew even working alone I'm able to do this. How, like, I was working and then going to school and I'm able to make it. Now that I'm coming here, I'm going to do a lot of wonderful things.
So did it end for you when you finally started Bolga Girls, or along the way you would still have to go back to work and come back to school? How did that pan out for your years of senior high school?
So when I went to Bolga Girls, every first term, every academic year, I have to pay school fees. And the money that I got was only to pay for the things that my trunk and chobos and the things that I needed for secondary school and my admission. I didn't have enough money to pay every year. So what happened was, usually first term, second term is very short. So first term I will help my mother on the farm so my family can get enough food. Second term is usually tough for us. I remember in secondary school, sometimes when I'm going to school, I don't even have soap to go to school. So I remember my mother, and don't touch me.
No, tell me about don't touch me.
Yes, it's round soap. Usually the choba, people use it to wash so it's very cheap. It's very 50 pesos you can get it, 20 pesos you can get it. Okay. So my mother and I will buy that one, and then we'll use a pill, and then we'll cut it into pieces so that no one will know that it's Azuma Blues. I remember sometimes when I'm going, she won't have money to get me pad, so she will just take her old cloth and then she'll cut it into box pieces so that I can use it. So I mean, it was hard. So every third term, I'll go back to Bantama, make enough money. Sometimes when school reopens, I have to stay 2 weeks, a week late, because I don't have enough money to pay for my school fees and get national health insurance for my siblings. So sometimes when school reopens, I have to stay a week or 2 weeks late, and when I've gone, my classmates, they've learned, they are all ahead of me, and I get punished.
How are you catching up?
And I get punished for coming late, which is fair because we have people who were also home and they came late, so it doesn't really matter whether you were working
or not.
And that, for me, it was, and not just me, for some of my classmates.
Like?
You go and weed, fetch water and all that. So yeah, it was, for me it was tough. I'm the only person who would say that, okay, my family didn't have it, so I was the only woman or lady coming to Accra to work. Right, so I think that was the fun of it. It wasn't good, but that was because I realized
other girls who you could connect with.
Exactly. So when we come to Bantama, when we are sleeping on the street, sometimes if it's a very busy, if there are a lot of funerals around, we tie our legs and sleep because in the market, some people can come and rape you. So we tie, if it's 3 of us sleeping, we tie our legs together and then we sleep. So if you're a guy and you want to rape me, when you look for the leg, you have to look for another one before you can rape me. Do you get it?
Oh, I'm getting it.
Yes,
so
it's a strategy. And sometimes to the public secondary school. So we have classmates who during vacation their parents are giving them extra classes here and there, but then we are in Bantama working as KAI, so what can we do? So sometimes we take turns, so 2 people are reading, the 4 people are sleeping. So when you're about to sleep, you wake the other person up and then you sleep. So it's a way of taking care of ourselves and then also catching up to our classmates.
Some of these girls were with you in Bulgar Girls.
Exactly.
Oh my. But eventually you finished.
Yeah, eventually.
You went through all the hustle and the challenges of sleeping and tying your leg with.
And then even school was a challenge for me because sometimes when we are in, let's say, during exams time, they have to come and check those who have paid school fees, exams fees and all. So sometimes when they come, they have to mention my name. So my classmates will take me to, let's say if I'm in Form 1, they will take me to Form 2 when the teacher is entering. So when the teacher so that like I won't feel bad because he's going to mention my name anyway. So yeah.
So let's talk about when you finally finished Bulgar Girls. How did that feel?
So one thing that has always worked for me is that regardless of what happened, I have a plan. I know where I want to go to. And so regardless of the things that I encounter as I get there, it doesn't matter because I know this is what I want. And so that's what I wanted.
Talking about having a plan, after Bulgar Girls, what was your plan?
I had a master plan.
Tell me your master plan.
So my master plan was that I'm going to work for a year, which had worked for me.
You had experience in working for a year.
Work for a year. I mean, for me, it's not a journey. So it doesn't matter whether my classmates are here.
It's not a competition.
Exactly. So I was going to work for a year, save money. And then when I save money, I'll go to training college. Training college, they are going to give me allowance. I'll use the allowance to support myself. Finish, get this beautiful picture with my graduation gown, and then I can come back and take off my get work. I mean, after training college, I'll get a job. I'll become a teacher, and then I can take off my siblings. And my siblings wouldn't have to come to Accra or Kumasi to work as a KAI. So that was my master plan.
How did the master plan work out?
So my mother thought it was a perfect plan. So this time, let's go together. Whilst I'm working, she's also working.
In Bantama Market, both of you as headquarters.
So my mother was working in a choba. So she prepares the banku, the TZ and all that. And I was working as a KAI because at the end of the day, I realized that fetched me more money than being any other job.
So by then, had you figured out how to make more than 20 CDs a day as a head porter, or it was still around 20
It was at that time, we don't have a rate. So it depends on how hard you work or how many customers that you have. So for me, migrating and coming, I've saved a lot of people's number. I've written a lot of people's number down. So just to let them know that, okay, I'm still here. So I had more people than when I previously came. So I was doing that. My mother was working as in the choba. So we planned that we are going to do that for a year, and then I'll buy. And mind you, I had 9. I had aggregate 9.
Exactly. From your
Bulgar Girl for business.
That was from your SSE at the time.
Exactly. I had
was
9.
It WASI? At the time, it was WASI.
Yes,
okay.
I had 9.
Congratulations.
Working in between as a KAI, coming to school late, and still being able to get 9 was a big deal for me. For me, I was looking at 10 going, but getting 9 was a big deal. So I knew like I was even going to work harder than that. So I went to Kumasi. My mom and I were working. At the end of the day, we saved the money. And this time, because I already have experience and knowledge, I realized that every month I would take that money that both of us has made, instead of keeping it with the susun, I'll take it to the bank. So we did that for a year, and this time a year because
Mom was also sleeping on the street.
No, she was sleeping in the choba. When they close and clean up, they'll sleep on where the people were eating, which was good, which was safe for her. So we worked for a year.
You didn't think you could join her there, or you?
I felt like I was comfortable. I've done it, and.
You had seen it all, done it all on the streets.
I'm used to what I do. Plus, the people that I come in contact with, I felt like it was good for me. So I was doing that, and I didn't have any intention of joining her. So we did that for a year. We were supposed to leave, let's say, this Wednesday. My mom said, okay, we should go the next day. I said, no, let's work for extra 1 week. And mind you, I wanted to buy rice, like a big bag of rice for my siblings, make sure they have shoes and all that. So I wanted to use that 1 week money to do that.
Who was taking care of your siblings at the time both of you were
exactly.
here?
So my grandmother. Okay. So my mom said, no, we should go the next day. We've already have enough money. Why are we still here? And I said, no, we want to do that. So the next day, the next Friday, so this is Wednesday, Friday, my mom went to buy firewood and she was crossing the road. So firewood in a basin. So she was crossing the road and a tractor driver knocked her.
She inspires.